Boom, boom. Okay, so boom. Whew, baby. I know it's late, but I'm gonna wait for y'all to get in here. You're first. What it do? Welcome. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Okay, I know I was supposed to come back yesterday evening, but some things came up. Hey, cousin, how are you? I see how my voice changed when I see my people's. Oh, my bad. Ooh, ooh, mm, 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 mm. Y'all like how my voice changed. What it do? Welcome. So y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a little tired, but y'all would be what's good, big sis? I be looking for you for the news. Thank you so much. Hey, ooh. I can't get too loud, baby. My baby in there asleep. I don't want to wake him up. He been and came in here and be like, Mommy, can I watch? Mommy, can I watch? But thank y'all so much for pulling up on me again. I appreciate y'all. I apologize for having to change the day. Some stuff came up last night, so I couldn't make it back. But I'm back today, baby, and I'm ready. I actually just finished. Can y'all hear me too, by the way? Y'all know I moved my mic out the screen. Y'all know it was bothering me yesterday. It was looking like a hole. Why my chapstick look like that? Okay, cool. You know y'all gonna have to bear with me until I get used to being live on oh my god, it's just like everything that could happen is happening to me. I know y'all be a little more civilized on YouTube, but I'm new here. I'm new, so y'all know I keeps it real on the other platforms. But anyway, I was saying that. So, if you guys don't know, every Tuesday evening I host a debate show on TikTok for the Shade Room. So, I actually just finished that show, which was really interesting. So, I'm going to talk about that before I get into the other topics I have. But just so y'all know what we're getting into tonight, I am going to discuss what we just discussed on Read the Room, which was kind of interesting. I want to get y'all perspectives too. Um, have y'all heard about the Ruby Frank case? But I want to talk about that, honey, because I watched that documentary on Hulu, and baby, see, it's something about like I'm gonna get into it, but I I knew it was something like I don't really like my son watching other people kids play on YouTube because something about it don't sit right with me. Like, Ryan was the first to do it. Hey, Chandra. Ryan, he was the first to do it, got his little coins, you know what I'm saying? Him and his family came up one time for the one time. They all in Walmart and stuff like that. But something about these kids being on YouTube, mm-mm, it was giving child labor to me. Okay, and my baby want to be a YouTuber so bad, but I be scared that people gonna be talking crazy about me. But anyways, we're gonna talk about that. And then I also want to talk about. I don't know if y'all seen, but Donald Trump called himself signing an executive order seeking to change how elections are handled. So we're gonna get into that because, like, what is we really doing at this point in the game? Okay, make sure y'all like this live too. Share the live if you can. Make sure you comment. Let's get active. I know it's late, but we're gonna get active. We're gonna have a good time tonight. And then last but not least, we are gonna talk about Signal Gate. And I know y'all know what that is. Them people was all in Signal talking about war plans and they accidentally and they accidentally let the chief editor from what news thing was he from? I forgot. The Atlantic, right? Let him up in the chat. Yes. Crazy. So let's get into it. Anyways, okay. So the topic for Jeff Goldberg, yes, honey. So the topic that we have for Read the Room this evening was basically whether or not it's time to amend the Constitution. And so the reason why I thought this would be a good topic is because, hey, Tish, basically, I don't know if y'all saw, but last week sometime or like most recently, Steve Bannon did an interview on Cuomo, and they were talking about how basically the Republicans, i.e., the MAGA Republicans, were trying to figure out how to get Trump to run for a third term. Now, y'all know, based on the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, after FDR had them 4 terms, they was like, no, we're not going to do this. Like, we need to put some limitations on this. And all presidents prior to that only had 2 terms. And it really wasn't written anywhere in the Constitution, right? It was just a matter of, okay, people felt like that's what was appropriate. And so y'all know this thing be getting on my nerves right here. Anyways, people felt like that was what was appropriate, an appropriate amount of time for somebody to be the president. And so people was doing it 2 terms and getting out, right? That's what it was. So FDR come, he run 4 times. They like, it's a wrap. 22nd Amendment come and they like, excuse me, they was like, yeah, it's over with. 2 terms, get up out of here. We're gonna have to figure it out with somebody else. Um, so one way, or really at this point in the game, as far as I'm concerned, legally, the only way for Trump to be able to have a 3rd term would be um to amend the Constitution. And you did have a Republican congressional member from Tennessee, I want to say. What is his name? His name is slipping me right now. But anyways, he even like proposed amending the 22nd Amendment basically to say that, a president can be elected more than twice. And Bannon and them was like, whatever, all that Constitution, that's cool. We finna figure this out. We got some stuff we working on. We finna figure it out. So my question pretty much was like, is it just time to amend the Constitution at this point? Because thank you, Andy Ogles from Tennessee. Yes. Is it just time to amend the Constitution at this point in the game? And I say that because, I mean, at the end of the day, the way Trump and his administration is moving right now, they are testing the bounds of the Constitution like we've never seen before. And this is not the first time that presidents or anybody, has tested the Constitution, but I think it's being tried to a whole new level right now, right? In particular, if y'all saw those deportations of the alleged Venezuelan gang members, first of all, the paperwork said that first and foremost, it was not confirmed that all them people were members of gangs, right, or members of the particular Venezuelan gang. Let's start there. It was no due process, right? And the whole reason why Trump used the Alien Enemies Act, was to avoid the whole due process aspect of it, right? So the way the game worked is basically like, before you could be deported, you still get due process, even if you're not a citizen here, right? Basically, America is like, no, we have this how we do things. If we're going to take away your rights, or we're going to deport you, or do whatever we're going to do, we're going to go through the process, proper procedures, because we don't want nobody coming to holler at us about it later. You know what I mean? And so, one, I will say, immigration courts are backed all the way up, honey. Baby, they need help. Okay, while we out here firing people, we need to be hiring people for the immigration courts, because it's not enough of them people sitting on them benches to hear these cases. It's people who've been waiting for their cases to be heard for years. Okay, it's still some kids, I think, from the first Trump administration who's still trying to figure out where their mama and daddy is at, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Like, it's a lot going on when it comes to immigration. And immigration is a special practice. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. I never took immigration law in law school, you know what I mean? But I heard enough about it, and I had enough friends who study immigration and wanted to be immigration attorneys, and it's no joke at the end of the day. Yeah, but so they use the Alien Enemies Act to be able to basically deport these people and bypass the due process aspect. So we don't got to send y'all to court. We're not worried about none of that, all that paperwork, baby. You finna get up out of here, because we feel like y'all out of pocket. You don't need to be here. You're enemies of the United States. You coming over here, you're committing crimes. Woo. On the other hand, another thing was like, okay, it's a difference between being accused of a crime and being convicted of a crime, right? So you could be accused of a crime all day long, and maybe you didn't do that, or maybe the prosecutor can't necessarily prove that you did the crime that you got brought in for. You could be accused of a crime all day. It's people who done been accused of stuff all day long. Were you actually convicted? And I know from some of the research I did from the deportations that were happening, not everybody have been convicted of a crime. They may have been charged, and they like, okay, we're gonna see what happened, but they already sending them away. So that's the one thing. But this is another thing. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. I really feel like America had been pump faking for a long time. I feel like we've been pump faking. I feel like we've been getting away with being a big bad wolf and everybody having respect for America and, putting respect on America's name simply because of our history. Because the founder fathers didn't play that. They was mad at the king. They was like, we're not gonna deal with this. We finna go figure out something else to do. We finna be independent because you're not gonna keep playing with us like that. They made their way over here, right? They created this whole rich history where I'm gonna get into Jasmine Crocker too. Thank you so much for the $20, 32, Antoine. I really appreciate that super chat. Thank you, baby. Thank y'all so much. But we're gonna get into Jasmine because not they played in her face about calling old boy Hot Wheels and everybody in name. I'm gonna call him that. But yeah, me. Let me make sure I write that down because y'all know me and my ADHD. I've been and got distracted, and I want to make sure I address that too. But let me finish with my story real quick because my whole thing is America. Um, we've been pump faking. We're not even the Americans we were back in 1776. Because I went back and read some of the stuff the founders were saying, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying I agree with all the founding fathers. I think they were some different type of people. Mind you, the baby dad, I love to call them the baby daddies of America. Mind you, the baby daddies of America was in their 20s and stuff when they started really getting down the way they was getting down. But I just feel like they would not be for half the stuff that we dealing with right now. Like people sitting here complaining. We could talk about Signalgate, for example. The way that they making excuses and being like, oh, it's cool. They just made a simple mistake, having conversations about war on Signal, and that's not how y'all supposed to be talking. Honey, the founding fathers would not be going for that. The way that President Trump is talking about, oh, I don't like how y'all voting. Mm-mm. The voting is against me, so I'm not really here for it. The founding fathers would not stand for that. Oh boy, putting out that fake little magazine cover like he was a king. I feel like if the founding fathers was here today, it would be some smoke. So I really feel like America is on some pump fake stuff right now, and we not really the same Americans that the founding fathers intended us to be. I really want to know y'all thoughts on that. So, and I say all that because we had the conversation on Read the Room tonight. Like, do we need to amend the Constitution? And one of the guests was like, he was focused on the 13th and 14th Amendment. One, in terms of the 13th Amendment, his argument was like, he's sick of the fact that when it comes to the incarcerated population, basically he felt like they getting jobs that regular civilians should be getting. So, example being, right, y'all know the fires that happened out there in LA not too long ago, right? So he was saying, like, yeah, back in the day, I used to be able to get an $80,000 job as a firefighter. Now, them jobs not even available no more, and they paying them people in the pen 75 cents an hour to come fight fires. So, of course, for me, I'm trying to draw out, like, okay, so what do I got to do with the 13th Amendment? What part of the 13th Amendment do you think needs to be, like, amended? Because my whole thing is, like, no, we shouldn't have no slaves, period. Especially for California. California is called CDCR, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I don't know what them people is out there correcting or what they rehabilitating. I'm going to tell you that right now. Especially when the Supreme Court has ruled previously that we don't have to provide nothing. We give you 3 hots and a cot, and that's about it. And if you get some extra on top of that, you might want to be grateful. You might want to be happy. I know I got 43 people in here and only 18 likes. I hope y'all run me up. Also, y'all like my little bitty ponytail? Just all me. In case y'all thought I was a butt chicken. I'm not. I just like big hair. Anyways, I say all that to say thank you, No Cap Zone. Right? So, anyways, his whole thing was like, he feels like inmates are getting jobs, right? He was saying like, oh, corporations are closing down factories. Thank y'all so much for running me up. Corporations are closing down factories in order to give these jobs to inmates. So his thing was, one, I guess we should amend the 13th Amendment. He never really told me how. He just said we should change it. So that's that. Um, No shade at all. I'm just saying that's what he said. And then his other point was the 14th Amendment. And he was saying, and this is something I peeped. Um, Thank you, baby. Welcome back. I'm glad you found me. A lot of Black people have an issue with birthright citizenship. And I did not know that. And that comes from the 14th Amendment, equal protection, right? So y'all remember we had Dred Scott where they first tried to be like, no, we don't care that the Black people was born here all of a sudden because y'all brought them over here as slaves. And now it's more Black Americans than it is anybody else, right? Um, and then the law changed where we had, birthright citizenship where the court eventually said, yeah, thank y'all. Please run my likes up, y'all. I really appreciate it. Where the court said, these people were born here, right? Talking about Black people. Black people at this point were African Americans, right? Majority of us was born here at this point. They don't have another country that they have a loyalty to. They clearly ain't never been to Africa, and the way we done separated them and moved them and shipped them and shook them up like sunflower seeds and spit them out, right? They don't know what country in Africa they came from. You feel me? So their loyalty is here. And that's like one of the main things when it comes to birthright citizenship is like, do you have a loyalty to this country or do you possibly have a loyalty somewhere else? Because if you got a loyalty somewhere else, you could miss us, right? Um, Lincoln was out of pocket, and Lincoln was more out of pocket than I think a lot of people really know. But everybody be like, oh, Big Abe and Emancipation Proclamation. I'm gonna put y'all up on game about Lincoln in a minute. But anyways, so I just realized a lot of people have issues with birthright citizenship. And one thing that I hear from the Black community, and I want y'all to tell me in the chat how y'all feel about this, please, because I really want to know. They feel like individuals are coming from other countries. CeeLo, I'm gonna put you up on game about Abe Lincoln. Let me put that on my list so I don't forget. Because Abe Lincoln wasn't who you think he was. And it really was Frederick Douglass who got us where we were and who was all in Abe Lincoln's year. Because if it wasn't for Fred, Abe probably would have kept playing with us. And quite frankly, Abe knew he was going to lose the Civil War and he needed us to help him fight after we have been begging and begging and begging and begging to fight. But I'm going to lose my train of thought. This is how people feel, or this is the arguments I continue to hear, is that they feel like that the birthright citizenship was created for the purpose of giving Black Americans, right, citizenship in America, because this is all we know, right? Cool. They feel like there are individuals that are coming over here and they're just having babies to make their babies American citizens. And they're saying that people are coming here illegally, right? And they feel like they're using that as an excuse to have ties to the land. So rather than going through the process of becoming a naturalized citizen, right, or rather than going through the legal process of becoming a naturalized citizen, they basically circumventing the whole process and they're coming over here and putting us, basically, anchor babies. I don't know if that's a derogatory term or not, but that is the term that I've heard, right, be used for this scenario. And they're saying, people feel like, no, like, something about the birthright citizenship don't sit right with us. So chat, let me know how y'all feel about that. Definitely is derogatory after. Yeah, it sounds derogatory. So they had an SVU episode about this. I don't have no problem with that. Okay. Then they need to stop letting pregnant women in. But what if the people are coming over here and they're getting pregnant over here? What if they're working, right? Yeah, I've never used that term. I have heard that term used. I personally wouldn't use it. That's just me personally. It sounds derogatory, if I'm being honest. It's just like, when people used to say, I'm not gonna say it, but it sounds derogatory. That's what I'm gonna say. But I say all that to say, from the debates that I've had on this show, and I'm being honest, it comes from both sides of the aisle, right? From my, if my memory serves me correctly, I it's not really like a Democrat thing or a Republican thing or a MAGA thing or anything like that. Just when it comes to, excuse me, Black people, people, I have heard more people feel a way about how birthright citizenship is being used. Can we talk about how we put walls up for outsiders at the same time as not addressing the oppression of the natives that were here long before the founders? Maybe I'm wrong and that's flawed reasoning. No, I don't think so. The term is racist. I would assume it was. I just know it's derogatory. Yeah, the term is derogatory. We definitely need to remove birthright citizenship for the foreign born citizens. So, what do you mean, Tish? You come over here and get it out the mud, mind your business, and positively contribute to society. I don't have a problem with anyone. Tish, how do you get the birthright citizenship if they're foreign born? You mean if their parents are foreigners? Yeah. No cap zone. You have a problem with what? So I think so. What it sounds like to me is what I'm hearing is that we need more people anyway. Born here, you belong here. What it sounds like to me is what I'm hearing is people feeling like if both of your parents are foreign born, they're non legal citizens of America, right? Then they have a child here. People, the argument that I've been hearing a lot is people feel like, well, your child should be considered a citizen of the country you came from or country where you are a citizen. Your child doesn't get to be a citizen of an American citizen. So now begs the question, right? Okay, now let's just say one parent is I don't think that's dreamer. I think dreamers are the children who were not born here, but they were brought here at a young age. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're the ones that like they were brought here when they were young by their parents, and in America is the only country they know. So they, they may or may not speak their native language, but they don't really have any real ties to their native born land. Like America is all they know. Does anyone know how that works in other countries? I haven't done full research on that, right? But from what I've been hearing is like there are some countries where they will um if you were born elsewhere, you still can get citizenship from the native born country. I don't know how that works. I don't know and I guess I should look at research it. It never dawned on me like to research anything about citizenship this deep, right? If I'm being honest, it's not really like my area of expertise, or quite frankly, it never really was an area of interest for me because I always was just under the impression that, okay, if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. I don't care where your mama was born, where your daddy was born, where your granny was born, none of that. I don't care if your mama got here yesterday. If she come yesterday and you do tomorrow and you born tomorrow, you're American. But and I didn't realize so many people felt a way about this, and I don't understand why either. And let me be honest about that. I just get afraid of putting up walls because of the gray areas. Moving to birthright citizenship could usher in new segregation and discrimination. Yeah, you know, I would be considered a dreamer. Okay, so no cap, you weren't born in America. You were born somewhere else and brought here at a young age. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it never was that deep to me. And you gotta think, I'm from California, okay? I grew up around a lot of Latinos, all right? And I'm gonna tell you, one of my best friends growing up, she was Mexican. I grew up around a lot of Mexicans. So I'm not even just gonna say Latinos. I grew up around a lot of Mexicans. Most of the people I grew up around was Mexican. And I never even question like if they were born here or not, or if their mama and daddy was born here or not. To me, it's just they was always here. Yes, please hit the like button. Um, okay, so I'm from Southern California. I feel like it's more because I went to school in the Bay, and I feel like it was a different population, right? There was more Asian. The Asian population um was larger in the Bay Area. And maybe it's just because I was in San Francisco. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was like Filipinos. It was more like Filipinos out there, if I'm not mistaken. But and Cali, in Southern California where I'm from, I grew up around a bunch of Mexicans. I know like my best friend growing up, her mama did not speak English at all. And I never questioned like, oh, was your mama born here? Why your mama don't speak English? It never dawned on me, right? Obviously being young, it don't dawn on you, but it never dawned on me. And I remember I would go to my best friend mama house, and my best friend mama told me straight up, she was like, check this out, you in my house. I'm not gonna learn English to speak to you. So you can learn Spanish if you finna be in my house. And baby, did I not learn enough? Because every time she made a quesadilla, I wanted one. Yo quiero quesadilla, por favor. Sí. Muchas gracias, mamá. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Ay, muy bien, mamá. Honey, I learned enough Spanish to communicate what I needed to communicate, boo. Um, okay, let's see. What's not being taken into consideration is that the United States is continually destabilizing countries where they want, or excuse me, where they want the resources. Corporations also advertise jobs in these countries. Honey, it's true. It's so funny. I was reading John Lewis's book, Across That Bridge. I love to reference that book. I love that book. I highly recommend 10 out of 10 if you haven't read it. Um, Hold on, sorry. If you haven't read it. Anyways, he talks about in that book how America had contracts with Mexico at one point to allow Mexican citizens to come over here and work. Everybody, honey, baby, because one thing about me, I'm finna get me a taco. Okay? I'm finna get me sí, comer, por favor. Muchas gracias. Yeah. The name of the book is Across That Bridge. It's a small book by John Lewis, Across That Bridge. Can you guys see it? Small book. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. It's really small. Okay. Look at it. Elote. And so he talks about in the book, I don't remember what chapter it is, but he speaks about how America had contracts with Mexico to allow Mexican citizens to come to America to work. And they did that for years, right? And this was post-slavery, obviously, right? And yeah, I mean, like when you read between the lines, it was likely because there was they would provide cheaper labor, but we needed the labor, right? Anyways, I guess in the book, he also says that like it got to a point where, you know, if you hit a lick, what you gonna do? You gonna call the homie and let the homie know it's a lick over here. And when I say hit a lick, I don't mean rob somebody. I mean you find a good opportunity, right? You find a good opportunity, baby. I got this job over here. Okay, they paying us $22 an hour to do X, Y, and Z. You know they only paying $7 an hour over there. Come up over here. I got like I could get you on. I'm cool with the manager. I'm gonna get you on. I'm gonna put your name in. Don't even trip. Just come, be ready to work type of vibes. And I guess they was doing that a little too much for Americans. I use that word loosely. But anyways, and that's when America started beefing. Like, it's too many of y'all. Shut it down. Close the contracts. Shut it down because they're coming over here and they're not leaving. They coming over here and they staying, right? But we have contracts with all sorts of countries for stuff like that. But you know what I mean? They was like, they don't like it, and that's when I guess immigration, for example, became a problem. But the thing is, it was like, okay, so y'all allowed this, you allowed it in some capacity, and now you mad about it, so now you don't want it, you don't want us to do that no more. And by the time you open the door and open the floodgates, people was like, we ain't been here. This opportunity is still jobs. You still got railroads that need to be built. You still got corn that need to get picked. Still got strawberries. You still got houses you need us to build. And now my cousin got a taco truck. No, I gotta go. So that's crazy. Anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. It don't seem like any of y'all want to feel no type of way about the Constitution. I'm just wondering if we need to, if it's time for an upgrade because the way The Trump administration is playing with the Constitution right now. They testing the boundaries, baby. Constitution, Alizé Jones, sis, are you okay? You should be stressed because they stretching you thin, Bookie. And I know your pages is old. They shouldn't, honey. But that's all on that. Okay, so that was the conversation we had this evening, and that's one thing I learned. And I only gave y'all one side of it. Let me give you the other side. The other side of the debate, the other individual that was on stage, her thing was he is waiting on the Supreme Court, and we're gonna see how the Supreme Court do. But her thing was don't touch the Constitution, and her thing was we already got rights. The Constitution don't give you rights. The Constitution just say that the government can't play with your rights, and we don't need to touch the Constitution because people only want to change the Constitution because of how they feel. I was like, okay. Okay. I ain't gonna hold you. I really wasn't 100% for that. Like I just wasn't. I really wasn't picking up everything she was putting down. I wasn't. It wasn't my job to do that either. Let me be clear. And it's not to say that I was picking up everything the other guy was putting down too, because I wasn't at all. I wasn't. And I ain't gonna hold you. The last administration I want to amend in the Constitution is this one. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. And that's not even just the president, it's the people in Congress right now, baby. Now. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because I feel like even if the legislators that we have in Congress right now were to amend the Constitution, I think, and this is on both sides of the aisle, this don't have nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. My issue is that if you have Thomas Jefferson saying that we should amend the Constitution every 19 to 20 years, and that his belief was that the Constitution should be in alignment with the thoughts and, the beliefs of the people in which who would have to live under that Constitution, it should be in alignment with them. I don't think that majority of our congressional leaders are in alignment with the population and the thoughts of people here today. That's it. It is supposed to be a living document, honey. The Constitution is on life support. Okay. At this point in the game, the Constitution need a life alert. Because every other day it's an issue. She falling and I don't know if she gonna get up. Okay. I don't that that's the God honest truth. She on life alert. Okay. I think they put the ERA in the archives. They did archive it. Yeah. What does it take to amend the Constitution? I think you need 2/3 of Congress, right? And then 38 states have to ratify it. So 2/3 of the House and the Senate, and then 38 states have to agree to ratify it. So the last time we amended the Constitution was the 27th Amendment back in the 90s. It took over 200 days to do, took forever in a day to do it. Let me just say that. It took forever to get it done. And it was basically to it addressed the pay raises for Congress. That's what it was. Are there 38 red states? I don't know. The way that everything is getting gerrymandered, right? Like, I mean, I think right now the Supreme Court gonna hear a case from Louisiana to see if they maps is right. So you got to look at like gerrymandering, right? Redlining, all of that stuff. Like any state could be red at this point. Then shoot, with the executive order Donald Trump just signed, that could be a whole other thing. Honey, Wisconsin, if you know anybody in Wisconsin, please tell them to go vote for the Supreme Court justice because we better be in trouble. We better be in trouble if they don't. Wisconsin is one of them states that they set the pace. Wisconsin is a very important state. The Supreme court seat in Wisconsin is serious. And they fighting for their life. And Elon Musk put in all the money in the world for that seat. Okay. We need that Supreme Court seat. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. So if I don't care, honey, honey, if you see somebody posting about Wisconsin, please share it. If you know somebody in Wisconsin, please holler at them and make sure they can vote. I don't give a damn if you got to go on a website and get a pen pal in Wisconsin and let them know. Just go vote for the Supreme Court seat. They probably should go do that. They should do that. Please and thank you, because they're not playing about that seat, and that's gonna set the pace for a lot of stuff. I ain't gonna hold you. I was in a meeting not too long ago where they was explaining the ramifications of that Supreme Court seat, and that mess is scary. Okay, find somebody in Wisconsin. Hashtag Wisconsin. Okay. Y'all can find everything else y'all want. Okay. Y'all can see a person in Starbucks in the back of the room. Y'all found Luigi based on his eyebrows. If you could find Luigi based on some eyebrows, honey, you could find somebody in Wisconsin to holler at. You don't even got to look in the yellow pages no more. You go on TikTok or Instagram hashtag Wisconsin and leave in the comment section. Did you vote? That's about. Get creative. Get creative. It is scary, but we ain't got no time to be scared. See, that's why I said we're not the same Americans that our founding fathers was, because our founding fathers would have loped up. Okay, I was reading some quotes by the founding fathers the other day, and it was I knew they was some G's, but I didn't know how G'd out they was for real. And they wasn't playing about their independence. They was not playing about their liberty. They was not playing about America once they did what they did to get this land. Okay, they didn't do all that for no reason. They did a lot. No, I'm saying I'm not saying they was right for what they did. I'm just saying what they did, they meant it. They was like, if we finna shed all this and we finna get grimy like this, we finna hold it down. Y'all not finna come play with us. King George III, we said no. And if you try some, we got some for you. Now we appreciate your help helping us get established over here, but you need to leave us alone. That's why we left in the first place. Don't try nothing, won't be nothing. And if you do try something, we're gonna hooty hoo and reach out to them other countries around the world that we know getting treated poorly too. They just not with the smoke like we is. We is not the same Americans as that. Them people were so mad they threw tea in the Potomac. I don't know where. I don't remember where they threw the tea, but I know they threw tea in the ocean, in the sea, in the water. And then they were so upset, honey. And then they dressed up as natives to do it. Them people wasn't playing. I'm just for to say that. So no, we is not the same Americans. We not nuck if you buck like that. I ain't gonna hold you. We all in the streets. We gonna march for about 22 minutes and then be in the house drinking water, watching America Got Talent. You just got finished marching. You didn't even put no boots on. You got on walker shoes. I don't know. Next door. Ooh, look what I got, y'all. Next case. Next. 8 passengers. Ruby Frank, honey. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. I am not really a fan of my baby watching other kids play on YouTube. That is something like, for whatever reason, has always bothered me. It just always has. I just been like, something about that don't sit right with me. Now, granted, I could be a little messed up based on what I saw, how they was doing kids and stuff back in the Nickelodeon days. I don't know if y'all seen that documentary or heard that. Like, you know, We done seen a lot of them people grow up with us. Now they telling their story. It ain't what we thought it was. Cause I used to want to be on Nickelodeon so bad back in my day. Not that I got acting skill at first. It just looked fun, and I just wanted to be on there. I don't know. I was weird as a kid, but anyways, say all that to say, another thing is like my son wants to be a YouTuber so bad, and he wants to like blog and do YouTubes, and I really want to do that with my son, but I feel some type of way because I have seen and heard so many cases of these kid YouTubers, these old family YouTube channels, and they be flugazy. The parents be out of pocket. Ruby Frank being one of them. I don't know if y'all heard of this case. You feel me? Nickelodeon. Anyways, I don't know if y'all heard of this case, but Ruby Frank, she was a mom out there in Utah. Utah's weird. I went to jail in Utah, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the Mormons is different. They move different. They believe different. They think different. They on a whole different vibe. They take family life to a whole new level. But anyway, so Ruby Frank, she was his mom. Her and her husband had 6 kids, right? They had a YouTube channel called Eight Passengers. Boom. She starts the YouTube channel, you feel me? Um baby, that documentary is crazy. I'm gonna put y'all back on game. I'm about to put the people who haven't seen it, Shannon. I'm gonna put them up on game real quick. But Shannon, co-sign me because you've seen it. It's a trip. It's a whole trip. Basically, she started a whole YouTube channel. You feel me? With her 6 kids and her husband. It's called Eight Passengers. They showing their life. They vlogging. They doing this, that, and the third. Boom. They start making a little bit of money. That's when stuff started getting crazy. I ain't even gonna hold you. People start tripping when they start getting money, especially when they ain't seen none before. But anyways, they start making a little bit of money, baby. Now you see the good cuts when you watch creators, myself included. Myself included. The only video I want to say I did one take Jake was my Russia Ukraine video. But honestly, I ain't even gonna hold you. I had rehearsed that mug in my head so many times by the time I turned my camera on because I thought about it on my ride home. And when I got home, I recorded it and I had to get it out real quick so I had to go to work. But other than that, I may have to record a video 6, 7 times, or I'll record a video, re-record a scene, whatever the case may be. Baby, they showed her uncut. No, the husband don't. No, let me explain to you about the husband, Kiki. Hold on. Don't get on the husband yet. And yes, Ruby claims she got turned out, but let me explain. Boom, let me get to the story because I know I'm taking forever. So this what happened. They start making money. Cool. But then she started taking it a little bit too far. Thank you, Danette. Ruby started taking it too far. It's the camera in the kid's face all day, every day. The kids start getting irritated, like, we don't want to do this no more. You're getting on my nerves. Dang, let me breathe. Ruby started tripping. Okay. You start seeing when they showed the uncut stuff, Ruby going off on them kids, yelling at the kids. The kids is like, I don't want to do this. And she like, just do it. We just got a brand deal, type of vibes, right? So she turned into a whole different type of beast. Even the husband at some point was like, dang, get the camera out of my face. And I have seen like other family bloggers who kind of like got out the game be like, yeah, this shit is low-key toxic. This it become toxic because it becomes your entire life. Like your whole day is around blogging. But anyways, honey, so the older son, what was his name? Chad, I think. He started tripping. So they look for chat therapist. Boom. That's how they link up with Jody. So Jody and Ruby, right? Jody is supposed to be giving therapy to the son because trying to figure out why the son cutting up because he started cutting up in school. He coming to his teenage years, right? Because when they first started the vlog, he was a little boy. He come up, he in his teenage years, he in high school, he cute now, he got a little right here. He started liking girls with the and the Mormons don't play that. The Mormons don't play that. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. Men are men. I don't care what religion they practice. Men are going to do what men do. Men are very sexual creatures. Okay? Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Men do men stuff. Period. Let me just start there. But the Mormons, they act holier than thou, right? And they have a very strict religion type of vibes. So, anyways, in any religion, honestly, like porn is not, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but it's not really celebrated. Let's say that, right? It's very much demonized. But anyway, so boom. What happened was that's how they link up with Jody. Jody supposed to be providing counsel to the little boy. Then somehow, some way, uh Ruby and her husband ends up part of Jody's little thing. She had this program called Connections, I want to say. And so they end up part of Connections. And I really think the only reason why Jody was fooling with Ruby and her husband is because they was already famous on YouTube. They already had that large following on YouTube. You feel me? And I think that Jody felt like that was a way for her to monopolize her brand and scale her brand. Because come to find out, Jody was a whole fraud and she was real out of pocket. She came off as this like top notch I'm gonna teach you how to, fix your kids. I'm gonna get your family right with you. Jody was divorced. Did nobody know what happened to her husband? Her kids wasn't fooling with her. You ain't got no business. See, this the thing. Let me just say this. Like when my friends talk to me about relationship stuff, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship. I don't give my friends relationship advice. I listen and I don't judge because I'm not in a relationship. I don't have no man. I want one bad. I don't have no husband. I want one for real. God's still working on me. I don't have no business giving you no relationship advice because if I can't keep no man, not saying that I need to try to keep a man, but if I ain't got no man in no relationship, how am I going to counsel you about your relationship? No. Jody linked up with them people because she knew it was going to be good for her pockets. And the Frankies was just too goofy to see it. Point blank, period. They was too goofy to see it. She played them. Baby, she played them like a fiddle. First of all, why is this heifer living in your house? Honey, it got to a point where Jody was living in the Frankie's house. Okay. Then she all in the closet acting like she possessed by a demon. I'm gonna tell you right now, you possessed by a demon, you gotta go. I don't care how many blood of Jesus is. I don't care how many different names Jesus got. Okay. None of that. I don't care how much holy water, Florida water, none of that. You got to go. You got to go. It's a whole scene in the documentary. Jody all in the closet. Oh, she's mine. She's mine. Like she's like literally possessed. It was crazy. So then this the catch. They basically, so Jody and Ruby tell basically make the husband, Ruby husband, feel like it's his fault that it's called The Devil. Hold on, I wrote it down. Make it feel like it's called Devil in the Family. It's on Hulu. Um, honey, that's exactly what she was doing, Kiki. So Jody and Ruby try to make Ruby's husband try to feel like he the problem and he the reason why the demons that's possessing Jody keep pulling up and he need to get away from her, basically. So they didn't kicked honey. They kick him out the whole when they trying to get the demons out, they end up kicking him out. Then tell me why Jody end up being no, not Jody. Ruby like, oh, maybe I need to sleep in a bed with her. Maybe that's why the demons keep coming. Y'all know what y'all was in there doing. Y'all know it's like, okay. If somebody is possessed by demons, first of all, I'm scared of the dark. Let me be clear. I don't even sleep in the dark, so you ain't got to worry about me. But honey, if you tell me that there's a demon that's pulling up in your body anytime it feel like it, I don't want to sleep in the bed with you. No, that's not my job. No. And then it was so crazy is because before they kicked the husband out his house. Shannon, tell him. But before that, the priest was coming to Jody house. The priest was coming to Jody house trying to get the demon out. And the priest was like, I'm not going to keep doing this, Jody. The priest said, I'm cool. The priest was like, I'm cool. That This how you know people don't use this. Some in here was off. The switch was off and you need to click it back on. Because when the priest is like, I ain't got nothing else for you, that should have been your sign. Leave her alone. Oh, I missed that. I didn't even peep that part, Kiki. I was too busy listening and not watching, but I didn't even peep that. I'm gonna have to go back and see it. But yeah, baby. So, anyways, they kick. So Jody and Ruby end up sleeping in the same bed together, honey. They go in the room. It's all kind of massage oils and candles and stuff in the room. Sound romantic to me. Mm. Honey, if you got the hookup seller, let me know. I'm just saying, just email me. Email me. But yeah, then, 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 boom. This is where it get worse. Then they make the husband feel like he a problem for real. He out of pocket. He got all this lust and he an issue, honey. They kicked the husband out the house. So now it's Jody and Ruby in the house. This when stuff get bad because they start abusing the kids. They started abusing the kids. This lady, first of all, okay, this where Ruby, this where she really got caught up. This where the case was closed, point blank, period. The internet was done with her lead. The internet don't play. Ruby got mad at her son, whatever. Her son was getting on her nerves, whatever. He was out of pocket. Honey, they took the son room away from him for 7 months. 7 months. Had him sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months. They was on, they was filming a video. Ruby had the camera in their face, and the son told it. He was like, yeah, I just got my room back after 7 months. She put it online thinking it was cute, and the internet did not think it was cute. The internet tore her up, actually. Tore her up and was like, that's abuse, that's crazy. What's wrong with you? Then it was a point where like one of the kids left their lunch at home or something like that. You feel me? And instead of her giving the kid a lunch, she like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you won't forget your lunch tomorrow. Hopefully one of your friends will be nice enough to give you a lunch. So I don't remember them calling the cops on her until like after all the stuff was going down. And that's when the oldest daughter had left and went to college. She left and went to college and did a wellness check, remember? And so the oldest daughter, because oldest daughter was like the only one who has some sense. And she was like, something ain't right. I don't really like this. This is not right. And so she started questioning what was going on in the house and questioning how her mama and Jody was moving. And Ruby basically ostracized her from the family. She got exiled from the family. She was like, you causing too much problems. You asking too many questions. We don't want to fool with you no more. Something wrong with you. So Ruby, then kicked out Honey. They didn't kicked out the husband, the oldest daughter, and the oldest son, sent them on their way and was like, bye. If y'all wanted to be together, y'all should have just been together. Y'all didn't have to do all that. Because at the end of the day was going to end and y'all was violating y'all religion anyway because y'all not supposed to be together. Yes, they Mormons, and I think that they was trying to save face, but I'm like, you even worse than that because you done manipulated three people so y'all could go ahead and be together. I'm just saying allegedly. I don't know that they was together for real, but from what it sounded like, they was together. They was fooling around, and Jody was a manipulator. Come to find out, Jody wasn't even a psychologist for real. She had lost her license. She didn't tell nobody that. Yeah. Remember the mama had gave Jody, the oldest daughter's room 2 weeks before the oldest daughter went to college. And what it sounded like is Jody and um Ruby wanted to be together. They wanted to be scissor sisters. And they didn't want nobody to know. And they kept the youngest kids. So, anyways, this what happened. This how they got caught. So they tying the young kids up. They not fooling her. Yeah, she lost her license. Yes, her license was revoked and gone. She was not a real psychologist at that point. She was not licensed. And she went around telling people she licensed. Yes, she did. That's what they wanted to do. Anyways, that's what it sounded like anyway. So this what happened. This how they got caught. So mind you, they was tying the kids up, locking them up in rooms, okay, not feeding them. They had shaved one of the little girl hair off, right? So boom, they had like, I wrote it down. It was like the 12-year old and like an 11-year old, I think, or whatever, had them locked in rooms. The 12-year-old boy, they was at Jody house. Somehow he broke out the house, went to the neighbor's house, right? Yeah, they had them all outside in the desert. She was poking them with cactuses and stuff. And then this is how goofy Ruby was. Not even goofy. I'm glad she did this because bump her. And let me be real, she in jail in Utah. Y'all know I went to jail in Utah, so I already know how they getting down in there. She was in a different jail though, and I think the jail that she in, the girls I was locked up with was like, that's where you don't want to go. But this she was writing it down, everything she was doing. She had a little notebook with some paper in it, and she was writing down everything she was doing to the kids, how she was abusing them, poking them with cactuses, making them stand outside in the heat and stuff, and basically saying they had demons in them. That's what she said. She was like, they possessed by demons, and we need to get the demons out. No, girl, you possessed by a demon because you want to be a scissor sister, and you can't just accept it. It's a new millennial. We don't care. We don't care. We really don't care. But anyways, it really was. The young boy ran out the house, was going to the neighbor's house. He pulled up in the neighbor's house, rang the neighbor doorbell. The neighbor was like, "What's up?" He was like, the little boy was like, "I need you to do me two favors." And the old man was like, "What?" And he was like, "I need you to take me to the nearest police station." And then the little boy was like, "Matter of fact, I'll just take one favor." Honey, they called the police on them, baby, and then that's when it all went crazy because he was like, my sister locked up in that room in that house too. Honey, the police pulled up. The neighbor was crying on the phone because that little boy looked a mess. Okay. And when I say a mess, it's not trying to be funny. I'm saying like nobody kids should look like that. When you over here in $1 million houses making all this money and you loped up with your girlfriend looking healthy as heck. Y'all don't look like y'all missed the meal yet, looking like y'all eat crab legs and Kool-Aid every night. Okay, let me just start there. But yeah, so the little boy had duct tape and stuff around his ankles. Honey, they had handcuffs and stuff when the police broke into Jody house and were searching the house for the other little girl. Honey, they found handcuffs and chains and stuff. Honey, I wonder if they was tithing. If they was tithing, they probably wouldn't have got caught. Because if they was tithing like they were supposed to be, they wouldn't have been hiding the fact that they wanted to be sister sisters and trying to say everybody else had demons in them. No, everybody else saw through your bull crap. That's what it was. And you didn't like being called out about how out of pocket and foul you were. That's really what it came down to at the end of the day. So no, I don't think they was tithing they 10%. Because if they was tithing they 10%, then they wouldn't have went crazy and did what they was doing. They would have stayed on the straight and narrow. How about that? You just sent your husband away. Your husband over here missing you, thinking he trying to get his life right so he can get his wife back. Whole time you got a girlfriend, allegedly. I don't know this to be real, but from what I seen, it's a reasonable assumption that that's what was going down. But anyway, so the police pull up in Jody house. Jody all on the phone with her lawyer. Girl, what you on the phone with the lawyer for? Because you know that little boy had ran away because you knew y'all was over there abusing them kids and that little boy had ran away. And we heard from, well, before the documentary came out, honey, I don't think none of them was real Mormons when it come down to it. Because at the end of the day, y'all they was moving foul. Honey, because Utah is strict. I ain't gonna hold you. Utah don't play none of that. And Utah is not kind to women. When I was in jail out there, I realized Utah is not kind to women. Or the Mormon faith. I don't know which one it is, but they not kind to women. So I understand, but I don't. Let me just say that. But anyways, so um, long story short, Jody on the phone with her attorney allegedly when the police pull up, they snatch Jody out the house. Jody like, you can't go in my house. They like, actually, yes, we can because it's a kid in here. Honey, they searching all around looking for the kid, looking all the rooms, right? Looking for the kids, right? And the police end up finding a little girl sitting in a room by herself, just sitting there in the dark. It's mirrors and stuff around her. They done shaved her hair bald. She looked like a little boy, and she thin and stuff. And they ended up taking them to jail. Then Rubio slick self, thinking she's slick, out of pocket. She gonna call her husband. Mind you, her husband ain't heard from her for a year because Ruby had told her husband he not allowed to talk to her or the kids. That's because they didn't want to get caught. They didn't want them people to know they was out of pocket. But God don't like ugly, and that's why you got exposed. So you right. The Lord was in that house. Let's just say that. But anyways, she called her husband. She like, this house stank. Ruby was. This house stank. She was. She gonna call her husband, who she haven't talked to in a year because she knows she was cuddled up with her wifey, allegedly, right? And she tell him, like, I better tell you right now, the kid is possessed with some demons or whatever, and he then went down to the police station. I know he over there lying. Her goofy husband, he's so in love. He's so happy to hear from his wife for the first time in a year. He geeked, right? So he like, oh my God. So she like, you need to go get your kids. She don't tell the part where she finna go to jail too. She don't tell that part. She was terrified. That girl was spooked. She didn't even want to talk to the police. I ain't gonna hold you. She was so scared. The police knew how scared she was. The police, it was so bad. He was like, I'm not gonna look for nobody else in this house. I'm gonna sit right here with this little girl. She was spooked. I ain't gonna hold you. You right. I didn't give her no justice. They didn't have no business. I'm sure Ruby and Jody getting walked in jail every day. They getting worked. If they in the jail I think they getting worked. They don't like people that play with kids. But anyways, um, so no, so Jody and Ruby had their own little business going on because they had connections. The husband was a professor, right? So he had his own little shmoney going on. They was making their own shmoney, manipulating people, messing up people, families and houses and stuff, telling people, just doing just out of pocket stuff. But anyway, so um the husband, he don't know what's going on, right? Because he ain't talked to his family because he was brainwashed into thinking like, oh, I need to stay away from my kids and my family. He's thinking that he's kind of working on himself to get his family back. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's love for real. Because I'm telling you, like, after like a week, I miss my boo. I'm tender about mine, honey. And we could fight for a little bit. I don't want to talk. I got attitude. I'm a Capricorn. I be funny style sometimes. But after about a week, I'm back to, baby, I miss you. I'm sorry. We need to talk. Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I know I said I needed some space, but not no more. I got enough. So a whole year, that's the type of discipline I don't have, and I don't want it. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna be able to do it. But anyways, yes, they did. So that man went to the jail to go pick his kids up. So he put up to the jail. He like, I'm here to get my kids. And the police is like, oh, we need to talk to you. And he like, what's going on, baby? They got that man in that interrogation room, and they start telling him, yeah, we found your kids. They was emaciated. That man said, what do emaciated mean? The police said malnutrition, skinny, thin, looked like they ain't ate, drank nothing. They was not well taken care of. He was so shocked. He was so shocked. He was like, what? He didn't know what was going on. That's when he found out his kids was being abused. And they like, yeah, your son ran away. He had duct tape on him. Woo, woo, woo. Mind you, the husband is still, he in shock. He not expecting this, right? Because that's not what Ruby said. Right, so he's still in a mental state of like, I'm trying to protect my wife, which is understandable because he like, this the police, they could be lying to me, they could be trying to set me up with whatever, which again, it's not above the police to do some stuff like that. So I get it. You feel me? I get it. So he like, no, I'm not gonna fall for this, because they was like, you want to see a picture of your kids? He was like, no, because you could be trying to play me. Shannon, we women, but I ain't gonna hold you. I learned a lot about certain people when I was locked up in their jail. And I'm not excusing it, but I'm just saying I could see where that came from. Now, I'm not excusing the husband by no means. I'm just saying, I think he wanted to get away from Ruby and Jody, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. Anyways, he looked real remorseful though in the documentary, but I don't know. All these people could be manipulating us. Who knows? But anyways, he didn't. I didn't know he got a little girlfriend. Ooh, let me find out. He didn't even file for divorce until Frankie went to jail, till Ruby went to jail. But anyways, so long story short, short story long, they go pick up Ruby, right? Ruby looking stuck, slow, stuck, and stupid. Okay, slow, stuck, and stupid when they pick her up. She don't want to answer no questions. She's staring at them, right, honey? Ruby had moved her girlfriend in. Okay, so she go down to the interrogation room. They asking, let me know in the comments. Do y'all think the husband was out of pocket, or you think they really, like, he really believed Ruby and Jody? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I wish I could do like a little poll. I don't know how to do that yet, and I'm not gonna start playing with buttons because I'm gonna mess it up. But let me know in the comments what y'all think. But anyway, so they pick up Ruby, they take her down to the jail. They like, you want to tell us about where you live with Ruby? Like, no, not till I get a lawyer. Long story short, short story long, both Ruby and Jody end up pleading guilty to like 6 charges. What was it? It was 6 counts of child abuse. Um, Jody ended up getting like, what she got? She got 1 to 15 years per uh per charge, basically. Long story short, she gonna end up doing 30 years in prison because that's the max she could do. It came out to 60 years, but she only gonna do 30 years. You think he was out of pocket? I think he was brainwashed for real. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so she finna do 30 years in the pen. She ended up pleading guilty. But she also said that like she felt like she was basically manipulated by Jody, which in a lot of ways she was. But I feel like you liked it. You thought it was cute. It was cute till you went to jail. Boom. I think he really thought they was crazy and gave up and left his kids with some people he knew was crazy. And I be wondering like what the laws in Utah are around that. Like maybe he didn't think he was gonna be able to get custody, or maybe he didn't think he was gonna be able to take care of 6 kids by himself. Wasn't she acting mute? That's what I'm thinking. You gotta go watch it. It's good. It's like a 3-part series. You gotta watch it because you're not gonna believe this. But that's like every time my son be like, "Mommy, I want a YouTube channel," I'd be like, "No," because I think people gonna think I'm one of their moms, and I'm not gonna do you like that. Because I know how hard and stressful it is for me as a creator, and like trying to find a schedule to create. Y'all don't know the number of times I have tried to vlog my day, but I be so busy. Like, shout out to all the vloggers because it's not an easy job. I get so busy throughout the day being a single mom, being a creator, trying to get my life right, looking for a job, all kind of stuff, running here, running there, trying to breathe, take a shower, cook dinner, woo. And like, I'll get about I'll blog about 2 situations. Next thing I know, I'm like, I don't feel like taking this camera out because I gotta move. I gotta move. I gotta do something else. I'm on to the next, whatever the case may be. So it's not easy vlogging. And my son, he want to vlog so bad, and I'd be like, baby, I don't know. Some of the family vlogs used to be interesting, but again, once I found out behind the scenes what was really going on with these families, I was cool. I was so cool. Like all the stuff. And really, I used to like watch it with my son. And I can hold you, like, I always kind of felt some kind of way. Unless I'm learning something, I really don't care to be watching what you and your family got going on. Like, for real. Like, I'm cool with the moms who teach you how to like organize, or, meal prep, or this how I'm a busy mom, this how I do this. That's cool. But just to be watching you and your kids play, I'm not gonna do that. I'm cool. Anyways, next case. Donald Trump and his election executive order. So, boom. Donald Trump has signed an executive order seeking to change how elections are handled. And this is especially when it comes to rules regarding citizenship and mail in voting. So, y'all know the Republican Party has this big thing for whatever reason, thinking that a bunch of illegal, I hate saying it like that, but thinking that people who are not legally eligible to vote are voting. Honey, we can't even hardly get the people who are eligible vote to vote. Okay. I think we had like 20 million or maybe 40 million less people voted this election than they did in the 2020 election. So I don't understand, like, it's already illegal for people who are not legally eligible to vote. And then every time you turn around, it's the Republican trying to figure out a way to not allow people to vote, even if you are illegally eligible to vote. Or one or both parties are trying to figure out a way to manipulate, gerrymander, all that kind of stuff so that people are not even voting in representatives that represent the areas they live in. It's a mess. But he signed an executive order basically saying you have to show proof of citizenship when you register to vote. And then he doesn't want people to be able to do like mail-in ballots. And then basically they want to make it illegal for any state to count a ballot after election day. So y'all know I'm from California. In California, as long as your ballot, if you mail your ballot in, as long as it's postmarked by election day, they'll accept the ballots 7 days after that. But it has to be postmarked for election day. Florida, right, for example, they don't care. Your ballot has to be turned in by 7 p.m. on election day or they're not receiving it. So the thing about it is like, so that's my whole thing. This affects so many people. You think about military people who are overseas who mail in their ballots, right? That might affect them. It's just anything, right? And you're already used to rules and regulations on how your ballots go in. Thank you. That's the whole thing. I don't think they considered that for whatever reason. I think he for some reason think that the Biden administration was allowing all these people to come over here who are not legal citizens of America and letting them vote, and that's why he lost the election. No, people just didn't like you. People didn't vote for you. Again, it's hard enough to get people who are legally eligible to vote. The number of people that I spoke to during the election to be like, are you registered to vote? Can't Are you gonna vote? Da, da, da. And they like, no, I'm not voting, I'm cool, I ain't got time for this. Like, people are willingly giving up their liberty to vote. Why would you come over here from a whole nother country and try to vote knowing you don't want to go back to the country you came from? That's why you came over here how you did in the first place. They don't care. Again, elderly people, disabled people, right? People who are military for whatever reason. Then you're telling people they have to show proof of citizenship. How many of y'all don't even have your own birth certificate because your mama hiding it in between her mattress and her house and she lived 3 states away? Or what about the people who just experienced fires in California, for example? The people who weren't able to save some of their major paperwork and they don't have their birth certificate or proof of citizenship yet, but they're eligible to vote. Or the people who in what was it, Tennessee that had the floods, Florida had floods, natural disaster. Or the people who, I think so. I don't know if y'all heard about the drama with the Save Act, but the Save Act basically, the name on your birth certificate would have to be the same name that you use to register to vote. But the name on your birth certificate is not the same name on your ID or like how you would register to vote if you're married, for example. So what does that mean? Married women become property again because you can't vote, only your husband can vote? It's crazy. You can always get a copy. if you have the financial means to order a copy, if you have access to order a copy. It's not to say that it's not ways to get it. It just means that everybody don't have the ways, means, or understanding on how to do it. If you're unhoused, you're still eligible to vote, right? I remember when I first met my baby daddy did not have his birth certificate. He didn't even know how to get a copy of his birth certificate. I'm the one who told him how to get a copy of his birth certificate and helped him get a copy of his birth certificate. And then, mind you, we had to drive like 2 hours to wherever his mama lived to go get his social security card because he didn't have it. And I was like, that's not, we grown, we adults. And I helped him register to vote, right? It's not that they didn't think it through, it's that they know exactly who they want to vote and they know exactly how they're going to win in the event that they limit people's ability to vote. And that's the concern a lot of people have. Long story short though, a lot of law firms and they not having it because one, it's like the federal government should not be, you're commandeering, right? And basically what he's saying is that if the states don't abide by like with the voting laws, how they want them to, how he wants them to, and they're having like this whole, like the election commissioner ever put out a whole new like voter registration type thing. If they don't do that, they're going to withhold federal funding. That no commandeering. The 10th Amendment says no commandeering. You cannot police, you're not supposed to be policing the states like that. That is unconstitutional as hell. Granted, Constitution Alize Jones, she on life support right now, so I don't even know if it matters. But yeah. So now you're telling the states that they can't even run their voting play how they want to run their voting play because you want it to be ran a certain day, a certain way. Mind you, this is not an executive order. This is supposed to go through Congress, right? He is bypassing Congress in every which way. I don't know when Congress is going to decide to take their power back, but hopefully, Cello, I agree. And I have been making that argument to the Democrats since the election was over. And that y'all are the ones who said this is what we was going to be up against if he won the election. Y'all should have had a contingency plan for how we were going to avoid this. Now we're sitting here looking goofy, trying to figure it out, and we don't know. It's just stuff is just happening. There's Selo, yes. So Selo said, "Did you hear what Mike Johnson said about the Yemen leak? Essentially, hope they get it fixed by next time." That is what happened. That's what he said. Basically, like, oh, it was an accident. It was illegal. They're not supposed to be communicating like that the way they was communicating. What? But we don't have any guardrails because again, we said Project 2025. He put it was in Project 2025 that he was going to, this administration was going to install loyalists. This administration was going to put people in positions of power who were in alignment with how the president wanted to move and what he wanted to do. They didn't care about the rules, they didn't care about the regulations, they didn't care about the laws, none of that. How he want things to be done or however they mapped it out for Project 2025, that's how things were going to go. And people said left and right, ain't no Project 2025. He said he don't know nothing about that. That's not his plan. Mind you, if you looked at Project 2025 and you put it side by side to whatever that plan was he had on his website, they was the same thing, line by line. You could have put them on top of each other and it would have matched like a DNA. We're literally looking at Project 2025. And my whole thing is this, Democrats, if we were talking about Project 2025 during the election, why y'all don't have a whole a group, a committee of people who gonna go line by line Project 2025? Because all you got to do is turn the page to know what's coming next. And we should be ready to fight. They gave us the blueprint. They gave us the blueprint before they won the election. The blueprint was out there. There should be a mechanism, a means, a ways, a committee working to combat everything that we know is coming, because it's going to continue to come. They wrote it down in a book. They wrote it down in a 900-page document, line by line. It's no secret. Everything they said they were going to do, they're doing it every single day. And we just waking up in the morning and seeing who's going to drop it first. What page we on? 22? We on 22? We on page 22? Okay. What paragraph? Paragraph 7? All right, cool. It's not at this point in the game, it's really not about you don't got to figure out messaging if you're telling the truth and doing what you need to be doing. You don't have to figure out messaging if you're educating the masses. You don't have to figure out messages if you getting active. You don't have to, they not figuring out no messaging. They saying whatever they want to say, true, false, ugly, indifferent. It's not about figuring out messaging. It's about getting your message out there. That's what it is. Getting your message out there to the masses. It's about telling the people what's really going on. It's about standing on business. It's about getting just as butt. It's about, at this point in the game, they have a whole strategy on how they're going to keep their name in the news every single day. They're going to do stuff that's out of pocket, that irritate people, that get people spooked, whether it's real, fake, whether they know they can get away with it or not. They're going to have it out there in the news. So we're talking about them. Baby, just like they're talking about Jasmine Crockett calling old boy Hot Wheels, we should have some scandalous every day then. Keep my name in the news, because as soon as you come over here looking for me, I'm going to have something else to say behind it. For every bad thing that y'all report about me in the news, I'm gonna have some game for you on the other end. I'm gonna show you something different on the other end. We not just gonna keep your name in our mouths. Everybody's name need to be spoken on every day. That's what they need to do. It's not about figuring out messaging. We don't need you to figure out how to talk to us. You work for us. We talking to you. You need to sit down and listen. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because of those of us that got some sense, and we don't need you to talk to us. We already know what it is. You're not listening to us. And because you don't want to listen to us and abide by what the American people are telling you to do and fight how the American people are saying they want you to fight, the people who elected you, now you're trying to figure out how to manipulate us and tell us what you want to tell us and how you gonna move. That's not what we chose you for. That's not what we chose you for this position for. If that was the case, you shouldn't have ran. It ain't about messaging. I don't want to hear from you. I want to see you work. You don't need to talk to me. What are you doing? Because I'm seeing every day what this administration is doing stuff that y'all said y'all couldn't do. If he can change the rules and change the laws and make stuff however he wants them by the stroke of a pen like he doing every day, the expectation is going to be that from now on. Now y'all got a problem. You don't need to worry about messaging. You need to worry about getting to work. You don't need to create a message if you blocking what he got going on. You don't need to create, because we gonna hear about it. You don't need to create a message. You feel me? If you doing with stuff that needs to be done so the American people don't gotta march every week. That's the issue. I know it's part of a banning strategy, and the Democrats should have had a strategy too, or they're not going to be a party much longer. That's the real, not a solid one. Point blank. Period. That. It's not just about messaging. It's about work. Y'all work product look weak. And so people don't trust you. So now you think you got to talk to us. Talk is cheap. I don't want to hear from you. What is you doing? So now I don't really know what our voting rights is finna look like come the midterms, but that's what he said he's finna do. I don't think it's legal, but it is what it is. Jasmine Crockett. So basically, they on Jasmine Crockett head because she was on stage. She gave a speech. She called Governor Abbott Governor Hot Wheels, and now they're like, "Oh, you wrong for that. You wrong for saying that." Da, da, da. I am so sorry. What happened to Sleepy Joe? Kamala now black. First she was Indian, now she black. Didn't they just call Senator Warren Pocahontas? Didn't he get on stage and make fun of a disabled person? And this is the president alone. I'm not even talking about other people in the administration. I'm talking about him personally, the president of the United States, the commander in chief. And you want to be mad because everybody and their mama was in the comment section saying we all call him Hot Wheels. Now, do I think it's cool to be talking about people like that? It depends. It depends. I ain't gonna hold you. It depends. Hey, Jamar. It depends. But I think it's kind of like that's what y'all want to attack. Oh my gosh, she's so out of pocket. She's so classless. I distinctly remember somebody standing up in a Fashion Nova faux coat saying, boo, 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 no, we not, liar, liar, liar. I don't even know if it was Fashion Nova. It might have been Shein when Biden was up there giving the State of the Union. Y'all forgot about that? Classless. We want to talk about somebody classless. Didn't somebody get kicked out of a play? One, because it wasn't they vaping in the middle of the play or doing something out of pocket. We want to talk about people being classless. Okay. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. They talk more smack than a little bit about whoever they want to talk about. And now all of a sudden, you know what? And I was carry on. I'm gonna wake my baby up. Oh, I hear him in there already. Better come here in a minute. Anyways, I say all that to say they can have it. She said what she said. They've said other things. I'm pretty sure it's some recordings and some group chats that we haven't been privy to that say some things about people that they probably ain't got no business saying. Let me just say that. So I just think it's disingenuous. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, so boom. Ah, baby, thank you. Oh, I feel so blessed tonight. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for loving on me tonight. I love you. I got me a little 1999 super champ. I feel famous. Honey Hegseth did call you pathetic. They always gonna be mad at a black woman. Let me just say that, okay? Because one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna serve, and the other thing is we set the standard. That's just what it is. Point blank period. We set the standard, and they can't help. They don't like it. I don't know, but yeah, feet should remain on necks at all times. It's not a time to let up. Matter of fact, take your high heel, and dig it in. That's what type of time we on right about now. We are the most educated. We are the classy ones. We are the creative ones. We are the change makers. Okay? We might even be the rule breakers. Sometimes that's what you got to do. At the end of the day, we are the standard. We are the higher ups. We are what you aspire to be. And that's why you be mad every time you see us. That's why they try so hard to keep us down. That's why they try so hard to villainize us, over sexualize us. You want to talk about our bodies? Let's talk about how y'all tried to make y'all clothes in a way that would resemble our bodies. Them big old dresses y'all made with the fake hips. We already had them hips, Bookie. Forgot? Okay. When white women wanted the right to vote, they knew they couldn't do it by themselves. They knew they wasn't G enough to march solo dolo to the net to make some stuff shake. Who they go get? Who they go get? Us. Okay. Who did you need to watch your kids? Who did you need to clean your house? Who did you need to tend your plantations? Us. because we it's in us, not on us, and y'all don't like it, and y'all mad. At the end of the day gonna end, and I'll just say that I just think it's disingenuous. For I mean, they gotta have something to say. You feel me? They couldn't just let it slide. One thing about the Republicans, they gonna ride together. Okay, right or wrong, they gonna ride together, Bookie. Okay. And then they gonna cuss each other out in the back room. I said that all the time. The Democrats need to learn something from them. Democrats need to stop folding on one another in public. Take that in the back room and squabble. One thing the Republicans they're gonna do, they're gonna let you say what you want to say. They're not gonna embarrass you when somebody asks them about it. They're gonna, I don't know you to death. They're going, I don't know, I didn't hear. Is that what he really said? I don't know if that's what he meant for real. And then they're going to get in the back room and they're going to cuss you out for embarrassing the party like that. And then they're going to come up with a strategy and a plan to get you up out of there quietly, silently, and they're going to do what they need to do. And the Democrats need to learn that. Democrats ain't got no hood. That's the problem. How you don't have hood for each other and expect the American people to have hood for you. It don't work like that. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I'm just one person. I'm a small person. I don't matter. It's 56 people in here. I'm not gonna make or break an election. I'm not gonna make or break a senator or a congressional leader or nothing. I'm not. I just speak my opinion. But that's my opinion. Period. And I want better for the party, both parties, quite frankly. But with that being said, that is really all the tea and the updates I have for y'all tonight. I just want to thank y'all so much for politicking with me on this, what is it, Tuesday? Tuesday evening. Let me know in the chat if y'all want me to do this again. If y'all want me to keep this up, I do have a good time going live with y'all. I do enjoy like reading the comments and speaking. I think we had a fun time politicking tonight. I had a fun time politicking. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please encourage your friends, your family, your granny, your auntie, your mama, your sister, your cousin, your daddy. If you got a homie in the pen and they got a cell phone, don't tell me about it, but make sure they subscribe. I think I'm at 29,000 subscribers right now, and I'm really trying to get to 30,000 if I can. Um, Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have fun. Y'all know this is my first real live, okay? This is my like second live period, but this is my first real live. I think it was fun. I kind of think it was better than what I normally do, like just getting in front of a camera and just like spitting stuff to y'all. I felt like this is really engaging. So please just let me know what y'all think. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm here for y'all. But again, yes, I'm glad that I hope you guys loved it. I loved it. I enjoyed you so much. Again, I'm trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. So if y'all can help me out, do what y'all do. It's great. I would love to do this again. So let me know if you want to do this again. Let me know if this time works for you too. It kind of worked for me because, like I said, I already do the live on TikTok for Read the Room. And I just kind of logged in right after I did that live. So I still had the energy and I still was kind of excited and ready to go. I know it's late for some, it's late for me too, but I thought this was great. But yeah, yes, please bring questions next time. Make sure y'all turn that notification bell on so y'all can see when I go live. I might just pull up on y'all randomly just a little bit, throughout the week as I start getting used to being on YouTube live. It's a transition for me. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me. I know it's not perfect. But it was me being me. It was me being authentic. I have my notes on what I want to talk about, but I didn't have no script. Everything came from the dome, and I think it was fun. I think it was a good time, and I hope to do this again with y'all soon. I hope to see y'all soon. Thank y'all again so much for the super chats. I am forever grateful. And yeah, that's it. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't gotta go to bed. You ain't even gotta get off YouTube. But I'm gonna get up off this live because your girl is tired. I was tired, boss. Thank y'all. I love y'all dearly. And until next time, I'ma holla. How did y'all deserve, all right? Bye. Good night, good night, good night. Bye. I gotta give me some little music. I need to give me some little outro music so I can. I know I've been up all day. I've been up all day. Good night, good night. Thank y'all for pulling up on me. Yes. All right. right, bye, y'all.